Hi everyone. Today we're going to make a tree, but we're going to do it a little different. So we have a 4-inch hoop, 12 wires, they're all cut at 16 inches long, and I attached them to my hoop with a slip knot. Instead of putting our roots right here, we're going to start right here. So we're going to start at the top and we're going to end at the bottom. Let's get started. Move that out of the way. Okay, so I like to start on my right. This makes it easier for people that don't like to end on the top and have to cut and twist all those little wires. This is the solution right here. I like to start with something small, a small crystal, then a bead, a crystal, and a bead. Okay. I started with the wrong wire. I'm going to start this one side with a bead. A crystal. Okay, because we're not starting at the bottom, our branches won't be twisted out until we have them beaded up. If you want to put, like right here, one little twist to keep it in place, you can do that. We can do that today. Just cross your wire over. I'll show you that again. Slide your beads up to the top. Hold them really tight. Support your work with those two fingers. And then give it one, that's not a twist, that's a half a twist. One complete twist like that. Now you don't have to worry about losing your beads. And we're going to do that to every single wire. Try not to crisscross them at the top. I like to keep them separated. I mean, you don't have to, it's your tree. Now because I started over here with the crystal, I like to alternate something small and something big. It doesn't have to be bead, crystal, bead, crystal. It just should be small and then something big because they fit better side by side that way. I'm putting 4. They don't have to be the same amount. That's just the way I do it when I twist out the tree. You can make it fuller at the top. You can do it however you want. Try and keep your wires straight though, because you'll be working your roots with them, and it's easier if they're not all twisted up. This way it goes by really fast. So if we were doing it the way I ordinarily do a 4-inch, we would have 2 and 2, and then 2 and 2, and that would be the completion of one section of the tree right there. Because I don't know what I'm going to do yet, I'm just going to keep going. And if you want to flip these over to get them out of your way, you can do that, because they're not going anywhere. You twisted them. I have to keep checking to see that I'm in focus here. I'll hold my little brush with it. I have another project started. That's what all that noise is over there. I'm trying not to have my workspace a mess, but okay. So now maybe it's not a good idea to put them up for me. I think I will just keep them down. Oh, scratchy sound is driving me nuts. Okay, let's see. If you wanted to put a bird, you could put a little bird. You can put a little bird right here from the bottom. No, from the top, sorry. There you go. If you want to twist it right there, you can, because you're not going to see anything anyway. I think I will. Right underneath the tail of the... No, actually, I think I'll put a little crystal. And then I'll give it a little twist. Like that, so that when I twist underneath, I don't have a big space right there. I hope you can see that. He'll float around until you get your next bead on. And if we lace it, then there'll be no more twisting and floating around. Okay, so now we're going to start. I want to make sure I grab the right wire. Okay. I'm not having luck again today. There we go. Okay. Now, I'm going to count the bird as a bead. Slide them down. Give it a twist, or a few twists. Grab the other wire. these beads are too big, so if it doesn't look right, I will take it off. I should have started with something smaller up there. You see what I mean? When you start small, have something small and big, how nice it looks. That is a little crowded, but I'll keep it. It's all right. So far, this is what our tree's looking like. We can twist that, but I don't think I want to. I think when I start at the top, I rather do the middle section first. That would probably help to keep me in the center of the hoop, if that's what I'm looking for. If I want to pull them to the side, if I want my tree not to be in the center, I'll hike it over to one side. Before I start twisting, I'll show you what I mean. And then just twist them. And push it over. In the beginning I said to put just one twist. You don't have to put just one. That was just so your beads don't get lost. We're going to twist it anyway, so if you want to add like 3 or 4 little twists, you're going to do it anyway, so I just don't want your beads to go flying. I like starting from the bottom because I like the way the roots look, but I also like the way it looks when you start at the top. So it's a matter of preference. Plus the roots, when I start at the top, my roots get a little bit messy looking at the bottom. So when I start at the bottom, my roots are always very neat. And it can be a pain in the butt to cut them and wrap them and twist them the way that I do it. Not today. Today we don't do that. Today this is easy. This is actually how I first started making my trees on a hoop. So I don't know if I mentioned this is 24 gauge wire. If you don't want to just put rows of beads, and you like the way I've done it in the past, when you twist after each set of beads, you can do that too. I'll show you in a minute. In case you're new to my channel, I don't always just string the beads straight onto the wire. I don't want to string them on the same wire. I do that all the time. So after you have both of your wires with beads, I think this one here might need another one. Yeah, we'll leave it, I think. What I sometimes do is I'll just slide all your beads down, leave 2 beads, and put a few, like a twist or 2, and then slide 2 more, and then a twist. It makes it look more open. You can do it that way if you want. Today I thought I'd keep it just the very, very basic. For people that are new to my channel, also just to show you basically how to start at the top. You can fill your tree in, especially if you've done a few. You can add your leaves, you can do all that. This is just to show you what it looks like when you start from the top. I don't like that bead. It's too big. That bead is for a bigger hoop, definitely. Okay, we're on our last. Nope, we got 2 wires left. Actually 4 if you count this as one. I'm going to put something else on this wire. I'll try. It's a little off. There. Hope you can see that. To support your work, you can throw a few twists in there. Now, this one is the last wire. I just saw this blue crystal and I like it. Usually whatever I pick up is where I can see a hole. And just whatever falls on my wire. Slide them down. And give them a few twists. Like that. Okay, now that we have everything on our hoop, I have to make this go away. Sorry, this distracts me. Okay, now that's distracting me. So we have a whole bunch of just beads. Excuse me, guys. Normally what I would do is put a few twists here, which we've already done. And twist those two together. And do the same. Twist those two together and then add them. I think we'll try that. We're going to keep it simple. But before I actually add them all together, I'm going to show you something else. A different way. Not a different way, an option. This is actually where we're going to make our little bends. Those look good. Okay. If you don't want your tree in the middle of the hoop, I would suggest that you anchor it to where you do want it and start your twisting together and then just pull it down to the side that you want it on. I'm not going to do that today. So I figured today we'll do these two for a branch, these two for a branch. That would be our first section. These two for a branch together and these two together That's on that side. These two and these two. We're going to start in the middle. See, they don't line up, that's okay. That just means this one here needs a few more twists. And we're going to twist them up anyway. Give it some character. So grab your 2 wires. We're going to connect the 2 branches, these 2. So when you start at the top, you don't want to just support, when you're making your branches, you don't want to buckle up the top of your tree. I suggest just to hold on to your work and give it just a few little twists like that. Now we can go back this way. You can go whichever way you want. I'm right-handed, so I'll just go over this way. And be mindful that they're going to join. So you may want to twist a little bit more. I don't think I will. I'll figure that out later. This part of your branch is going to be longer. Because it has to reach that one. The same here. When you connect these 2, we'll connect them right there, and then this has to be longer. That's like your main branch before you actually start doing your tree trunk. So we'll twist these like this. Every now and then glance over at the one next to it. Doesn't have to be exact. But they're going to be connected, so we're going to connect those 2 now. So support your work here. Hold this work up here. Just hold it, however you can. And that's enough. Now I'm going to go on this side. I'm going to take these 2 branches right here, and we're going to cross them over right where the twist is. And support that right there. Same here. Bring them together. And twist them together like that. Now, we're going to bring those 2 together. Support your work best you can. And slide the last 2 up. This needs to be just a little bit longer. I like to join twists. I never like to join a twist to a wire that doesn't have a twist right next to it. So I'm going to do that a little bit longer too. Right now they're easy to twist. Okay, comes the tricky fun part, okay? We're going to find the middle of our tree, which is right here. We could, this is going to need a few more twists right here. This is how you figure out how you're going to bring your tree together. Now, kind of like that. I like that. That looks pretty good to me. See if I can hold it and turn it around and show you. Okay, this does look good to me. The only difference, the only problem, it's not a problem, I just have to lengthen the branches, like right there. See, I don't want to bring them together right here without them having more of a twist. Okay. So that looks good. Oh, that's what happened. Okay. That's all right. When I did the middle, I didn't count right. It's like these two should be together, but side by side. So we just have a thinner branch. See? It's not quite the way I wanted it, but it's still not a mistake. I would have preferred for them two to be together so this branch would be a little bit thicker, but it'll still work. This one here still needs a little bit more. Plus we're going to tweak them all up anyway. Okay, let's see. That works for me. So however you can grab it. So now if I look on this side, this needs more. Even if you do too much, it won't look right, so try not to over twist them. Plus it gets harder to twist when you have them twisted than not twisted, if that even makes sense. Okay, so we're going to have it like this. And I find it easier for me to do the first twist instead of twisting, like splitting it and twisting it. Now I'll split it and twist to make my trunk. And I'll just keep going like that for there. Okay. And this trunk is going to go all the way to the bottom for this tree. Now, if you don't want your trunk to go all the way to the bottom, stop it around here, and you can start twisting your roots onto your hoop. I don't want to do that. So now what I'm going to do is one more. And I'm just going to straighten out my roots like that. But I want to mess around with my tree. You know me. I like to do this. And this should actually be done after you do your roots, because it'll tighten it up. So I guess I have to do the right thing and be patient. I don't like to be patient. You know that, right? For the people that watch me all the time, I have no patience. And what's even worse, I have no desire to be patient. It just doesn't work for me. Okay. So what I have to do is straighten these out, because I'm going to take them, let me see, I have to look at it from the front, not the back, into sets of 2 or 4. and I'm going to go under and over. So one will come from behind and one will come from the front. So this is where it gets tricky. If you start from the bottom, it's a piece of cake, and then it gets tricky at the top. So now I have 4, and I'm going to take those 4 and twist them, one behind the hoop and one in front of the hoop, and I'm just going to twist out my root for as long as I want it to be. I'll twist it a little bit long because I'm going to come back and clip them off anyway, and I don't want to get poked. So, plus I like them to come to like a point a little bit. I probably should have not made that last twist, but that's okay. I'll keep it. I could undo it. I'm not going to do that. Okay, I'll take these 2. That's 3. Doesn't matter, you could take 3 if you wanted. I just like to do them in 2. You can do them in 2s and 4s, which I might do that too. I'll take these 2 and these. This one wants to come over here. You can see that. So we'll take one away. Okay. Now we've got 2 in the back, 2 in the front, and we're going to twist them right to the hoop and just keep going with it. So right now it looks like this. Looks a little empty. It's okay. If this is your first tree, this is how you start from the bottom. Or one of the ways you can start from the bottom. There's no right way. Your tree is your tree. I remember my husband said to me, the trees don't look like that. Mine does. Mine does. That's not the way a tree looks. Mine does. Mine looks this way. And I like my tree. My tree's a novelty. It just needs to be pretty. That's all. Two in the front and 2 in the back, like that. And twist them right over your hoop, like that. It just kind of comes automatic when I twist. I like to put my thumb there, and I pull a little bit as I twist. You probably don't notice it, but it does help to keep your twist nice and even looking. Oh, yeah, are you lost? Okay, well, we'll just wrap you around this one. See, problem solved. How many do we have left? We have 5 left. We're going to do them together. Gonna just twist them right onto the hoop. 3 and 2. Okay, that's enough of that. If we need to do more, we'll do more. I don't think we will. So now, this tree looks kind of lonely, kind of not right. So we have to give this little tree some life. We're gonna squeeze the life out of it, twisting it like this. Just twist every little branch. You can pull when you twist. Twist high, twist low. Do 2 twists in one. So this is the very first, this is the way I first started making trees, from the bottom. But I didn't put the roots outside of the hoop. I just kind of wrapped them around, and I don't think they looked too good. They were a mess. But they're in my Etsy shop. People buy them. But one doesn't like, the other one will. Somebody will find beauty in everything you do. And the first person should be you. It's your project, it's your work, it's your craft. Make it your own. Do it however you think you want your tree to look. You made it. Okay, so for me, this is just a little bit too straight. So I'm gonna see if I can bend it with my finger. I'm gonna hold it right here and pull and push at the same time. I always try to do that first. And then when it doesn't work, I grab these. So I don't want to make like a dent. I just want it to have a graceful little twist. Like that. And even though you can't separate, you can separate your branches for sure, but because they're together, there'll always be a space. Follow? If we did them one at a time, and we didn't put that little, if we didn't start with a slip knot, if we just twisted it on, there would be no space. I like to start with a twist knot, a slip knot. Okay, so there you have that. So for now, we're just going to leave that alone. Now, we'll trim our roots. This is easy. Okay, we're done with you. And this. Get that out of my space. So, now we're going to curl our roots. Just grab them with your plier and just make little circles. And then you can open it up a little bit, however you want your roots to look. I like these ones to be a little bit, did a good job with that, I can't even undo it. Here we go. Now, I want this one to kind of look like the other side. Just my preference. Now these ones, these are a different story. These ones are a little bit longer. So we can do a little loop like that, and then come down after that and bend it in the opposite direction. We can bring it back if we want. I'll leave it where it is. Right now I'm just going to leave it there. I'm going to do the same with this one. I'm going to bring it to me like that. And then I'm going to go down a little bit and bring it in the opposite direction. Kind of like that. And this one, just going to twist it like that. Now this one, curl it. You can make them straighter if you want. Pull them down a little bit. Just be careful not to get poked. And now I'm going to give this right here a little squeeze. I'll turn because I should have not put that last twist on, so I have to add a little bit of character right here. That's not a problem. Like that. Okay. So now, let's take a look at our tree. Now I'll come back here and add some more little twists to our branches. I'm thinking it'll look better if I do it with this. No, I think maybe with this one. I think I want to go in here. I just don't want to, I don't want to crush it. I just want it to bend. And now I'll hold that. I can't hold that. All right, now I'll hold it here. And bend it some more. Like that. Just give it a shape. Like this. And now I have to find my bird. Here you are. Okay. Now if you want to lace your branches, there's a couple of ways to do that. With this type of a tree, you really need to lace your branches. But anyway, this is what your tree looks like. And now we're going to get a piece of wire. We're going to lace. Now, for those of you who don't know why I lace, this is why. I don't want this to happen like this unless I want it like that, okay? I do want spaces with this particular tree because if I don't have them, it looks silly. So when I lace, I will separate them like this, okay? And when you do that, after you get them the way you want, and you'll do it as you lace, your tree it won't slip and slide inside of your hoop. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my wire, and the way to measure for your lace, you want it to go around loose, real loose, especially like this because you have spaces in between. Okay, so what I'm going to do with this kind, I'm going to go in between these two. Usually I cross over. Right now I'm going to go in between these two. Then I'm going to go down. I'm just going to hold this wire. I'm going to bring it up and cross it over. Now if we didn't start from the top, you would be doing this with every single branch, crossing it over. This is where your hard part would be. And tuck it under. And then I grab my other tweezers and I make sure that I don't get poked. I don't like anything on the outside. I can still see that little stinking wire. Look at that. The first one. Okay. I've got to call in the big guy here. Okay. Now I want to go back down in between, bring it through like that, and give it a tug up. This will also tighten up your tree. Now, depending on how much you want them spaced, will say how many times you need to wrap your wire around your hoop. I can't go to that. I can. I think I would rather just leave a little bit more of a space than that. So I'm going to just take my wire instead of that's my way. That's where I cut the roots off. Put them in that little container. Okay, we don't need these anymore, not yet. So bring it down. You can bring it up and cross over those two hoops. I mean those two wires right there. I'm not going to do that today. Today, I'm going to wrap it one time in between these two branches. I'm getting snagged up on everything. Okay, now I'm going to bring it up. And I'm not going to cross over this wire. When I do it this way, I'm going to go in between. It just makes it so there's not so much tension on that wire, and when I pull it, it will also help me tighten up my tree. So I'm going to give that a pull. See? You can still separate them a little bit. Now I'm going to go down and come back up. And now I'll give this a little slide right about there. And go down in between. I hope you can see what I'm doing. Bring it up, give it a nice tug. Bring it over your hoop. See, it's one in between every space. Now bring it up, go in between these two. That's where you put your slip knot, like that. Tighten it up, adjust your branch for the next. Okay, you could go right in there. I'm not. I'm gonna just go over one time, over just the hoop. Now I'll go in between these two branches like that. Go in between those two top stones and give it a tug. I'll go over that, around that hoop like that. Give it a tug. Now take your wire and go in between these two rows like that. Bring it up and go through the space, because you're going to wrap it right around the hoop like that. Adjust your branch, and now you're going to go through these two rows, pull it, give it a tug, Go down. And now, we gotta watch out for this little bird. Debating if I want to go through this little bird to keep him straight. Otherwise, he's just going to float around. Okay. Maybe. We'll try. I'm going to go through this little bird. Just through him only. I don't want to go through the bead beneath him. I will do anything to make my little bird stay straight. Okay, so now we're going to have a wire, but no one's going to notice it. If I didn't tell you, you wouldn't even know it was there. Okay, now we're going to go through the space. Adjust your branches. Go in between those two. Give it a tug. I'm going to go around your hoop. Like that. Give it a tug. Go in between these two rows. Right in between those two eyes. Like that. Nope, not like that. I missed. There. Okay. Slide that up. Because you want to go right in between those. You don't want to cross over your bead. That won't look good. Okay. Go around your hoop. And if you have one of these little tight twists, this can be a problem. Just get rid of it. Like that. Now go through these two. I'm trying to do it so that you can see what I'm doing. Bring it up. I'm going to go around the hoop with the wire, like that. Bring it up. Go in between these last two branches. If they let you. Come on. There we go. Bring it up. Now you're going to go over your hoop. Bring it up. You take this wire and you're going to go in between those two branches one more time. We're just ending it like that. Slide that over. Pull down, turn your work around. We're going to clip as close as we can, right like that. Where did I end? Right here. Okay, I'm going to grab that wire. Push it down. And then just push it down and pinch it so it stays underneath that hoop. Ideally, I like to wrap them around the neck, the space of wire beneath the hoop and above the bead. So now that your tree is wrapped, look at my cute little bird. Okay. it should look something like that. So if this is your first tree, this was made in an hour or so, okay? And I'm going to show you what another tree, actually, this was the first tree, I think, that I put on YouTube. And this is the difference. Same amount of wire, but instead of just, I started at the bottom, 12 wires, twisted them, twisted out my trunk, then twisted out the branches, and beaded. In this case, I always start with 3 little crystals and twist them into a little leaf like that. You can watch the video on this. It's really an easy tree to do. I'm showing you so you know the difference. You can see visually the difference. If you remember in the beginning, I told you after you get your beads on your wire, take 2, give it a few twists, then slide 2 more and a few twists. That gives you this look. 2 beads, 2 twists, 2 beads, 2 twists, and it just gives it a whole different look. So guys, there you have it. 2 trees. First one I ever made for my channel, Think. Started from the bottom and did a twist technique. This one I started at the top and my roots are at the bottom, and that's what it looks like. Tell me what you think, guys. One last look. Let me move them over for you. Get them both in there. How's that? Not quite. There we go. How's that? A little better? What do you think? I like them both. I'll see you next time, guys.